Hey everyone, I'm Ashley, owner and designer at Kismet Crochet. Today's video tutorial, we're going to be talking all about gauge. What is gauge and is it really that important? So what gauge is a stitch count and a row count that's provided at the beginning of each pattern. A suggested hook size will be given, and this swatch, this gauge swatch, is typically done in a 4x4. It can vary, but they will give you a size, a 4x4 or maybe a 2x2, and then the indicated amount of stitches and the indicated amount of rows to obtain that size. So you do want to work up your swatch gauge before you're starting, because the pattern may indicate a size H hook, but once you work your gauge, you realize your gauge is completely different and you'll need to adjust that before starting your pattern. So that's what gauge is, and is it important? Absolutely. You always want to do a gauge swatch before starting your pattern. And this is why. I'm going to show you right now. So I went to visit my daughter at college this last weekend, and I made her crochet up a swatch for me. So she loves to crochet also, but she crochets very tightly. So this is her swatch, and this is my swatch. Same hook. We both use this green H hook. We both use this Lion brand basic stitch. Let's see, it's a number 4 medium worsted weight yarn. And you can see we worked exact same stitches. It was 20 stitches by 16 rows. I'm going to put hers right on top of mine. So without even measuring, we can get out our tape measure and see, but without even measuring, I can see that on the side for stitches, mine is a 1/2 inch bigger. And hers is at least probably 3/8 of an inch shorter. For the rows, we lost a whole entire row for her swatch. So the reason why this is important is if you were making, I guess, like a blanket, you'd say, okay, well, that's no big deal. I don't really care, which it may not be. However, what if this was, say, a hat or a sweater? Right here, we only have 20 stitches. But if it was 80 stitches, 4 times this, you'd be losing 2 whole inches. Or if you crochet larger, you would be gaining 2 whole inches. So then you get done with the project and you're disappointed because you say, my hat is too big, or it's too small, or too long, or too short, and you get frustrated. So this is exactly why it's so important to do a gauge swatch. So you just work up your swatch, your 4x4, or whatever's indicated in your pattern before starting. So then if you realize, hey, I crochet tighter than the pattern designer, because the pattern designer is really going to be the one that's giving you the indicated hook size based on how they crochet. So if you crochet bigger or smaller, you can adjust that hook size to get as close to that gauge as that pattern designer to have a successful project. So I hope this answered all your questions on gauge, and if it really is important. As always, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to comment below, or you can always reach out to me privately through the Contact Us tab on my website.